Hello, this is the commander of the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 32. Today I wanted to provide you with an important update about the current government shutdown and how it affects the Department of Veterans Affairs programs and services that many of you depend on. So first, let's go over the programs that's impacted by the shutdown and what they mean for many veterans. We'll start out by talking about with the career counseling and transitional assistance. Most people know that as TAP. This program helps service members and veterans transition from military to civilian life by offering personalized career planning, education guidance, resume help, and job search resources. Without TAP, veterans miss crucial support during one of the most challenging periods in their lives. They lose access to expert advice and training and ease their move into the civilian workforce, education, and entrepreneurship. The GI Bill Hotline. GI Bill Hotline, a key resource for veterans and their families to get answers about educational benefits, including tuition, housing, and training programs, is temporarily closed. This means if you have questions or need help managing your GI benefits, your support is not currently available, unfortunately, potentially delaying your education plans. The VA regional offices. These offices provide in-person help for filing disability claims, pensions, and other benefits. Until the shutdown ends, these offices are closed, leaving veterans without direct face-to-face access to claim support or benefits counseling. This pause can slow claims processing and impact veterans who rely on personal assistance for navigating the system. However, all DAV chapters are still in full force and doing claims for veterans for free of charge. To find your local DAV, go to DAV.org, find a DAV location, scroll down to the bottom, enter your zip code, and you should be able to reach out to a DAV location. So, National Cemetery operations. Routine maintenance such as groundkeepings at a VA National Cemetery is suspended and permanent headstone placements are paused. While burials continues, these delays may affect the appearance and upkeep of the final resting place for our veterans and their families, which is understandably distressing, especially if you lose a military veteran during this time. Pre-needed burial applications and presidential memorial certificates applications not being processed during this time. Families planning ahead for burial services or seeking recognition of a veteran service may experience delays, unfortunately. So now let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about what's not being affected by the VA shutdown. Your health care is protected. All VA medical centers, outpatient clinics, and vet centers remain open and continue providing medical care and treatment without interruption. Whether you need routine appointments, urgent care, or specialized services, your health care will continue uninterrupted during the shutdown. VA benefits processing. Payments for VA disability compensation, pension, education benefits, and housing assistance programs will continue as scheduled. This ensures the financial support veterans rely on will not delay, helping you and your family maintain stability during this uncertain time. Burials at national cemeteries. Again, VA burial services continue without pause. Intermittents proceed as planned, as processing of burial benefits for deceased veterans remain in place. Again, refer back to the maintenance and the headstones will be delayed. Board of Appeals for veterans. The board continues its work on veterans cases without interruptions. If you have an appeal pending, decision will be made, preserving your path to justice for benefits. VA contact centers for the Veterans Crisis Line. If you need help or information, contact the VA Help Center hotline at 1-800-MY-VA-411. Remains open, staffed by professionals ready to assist. The Veterans Crisis Line is operating 24/7. Dial 988, then press 1 for urgent mental health support, connecting veterans and family members to life savings help anytime they need it. DAV Chapter 32 commitment. Through this difficult period, DAV Chapter 32 and all DAV chapters remain steadfast resource for veterans and their families. If you have any questions about your benefits or how the shutdown affects you, please reach out to us directly so we can provide personalized assistance and guidance. Let's talk about active duty military personnel. Active duty military pay are good this year until October the 15th. So active duty personnel are required to work, but if the funding bill is not passed in time, their paychecks may be delayed until Congress appropriates the necessary funds. Back pay is issued once the shutdown ends, but delays can cause financial strain. Benefits and operation. Day-to-day military operations, housing, meals, health care for active duty are prioritized and remain in place. Essential morale, welfare, and recreation activities may be suspended, and administrative support can be limited. Protected under the law, the Pay or Military Act or similar emergency legislation is often enacted to ensure service members are paid during a shutdown, but it's not passed before a lapse. Pay delays can occur. Typically, Congress acts quickly to prevent prolonged pay disruptions for active duty. You know, I don't come up with very many good ideas that often. I'm not the smartest person in the room, but I would say if our men and women in uniform are sitting in a foxhole overseas or wherever they're supporting their country or serving their country, they don't get a paycheck. I would say Congress should not get a paycheck. You know, I don't care what side of the aisle you sat on, but I'm sure there's, you got the extreme right, you got the extreme left. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the middle that this makes common sense. So if our men and women in uniform are not getting paid, nobody in Congress should be getting paid. I think that's just common sense. We understand the frustration and hardship this shutdown causes, but rest assured the mission to serve veterans and honor the sacrifice remains deeply committed, no matter the challenges. Visit the VA Contingency Planning website for ongoing updates. And remember, DOV Chapter 32 is here to support your every needs every step of the way. Thank you for your service and trust, and God bless until the next video. Thank you.